What's going on, guys? Today I'm just going to do a quick little video on how to center the steering wheel. And I'm doing this because I can't remember, I think I saw something on Facebook about a guy who his steering wheel was off center, much more significant than mine was. Mine's just off like a little bit to the left, but his was like completely almost sideways. And he was asking for like a way to solve this problem. And I was reading the comments, and it was talking all about adjusting the tie rod ends and stuff like that. And I was just thinking to myself that the easiest way to really do this, and as long as your truck's alignment is done and it's driving down the road fine, the easiest way to do this is just pull off the horn pad cover, pull the nut off the center of the steering wheel, and then just realign it on the splines of the shaft of the steering shaft itself. So I'm just going to do a quick little video, show how to do that, and then easy solution to that problem. So we've got 3 Phillips head screws on the back of the horn pad cover. We'll pull those off first, and then we can pull the horn pad cover off. Okay, now once you got those screws off, just pull this off lightly. There's 2 wires behind there. That's for your horn, so watch, I'll click on that. So if you're having problems with your horn, I do have another video on how to diagnose any problems with that. I spent a good day trying to figure out what was wrong with my horn. After we did the transmission swap, we swapped the column as well, and the horn wasn't working. So I do have a video for that if your horn isn't working and you're interested in fixing it. But anyways, we're just going to keep this out of the way. We don't need to unplug those. But if you do end up unplugging them, just mark them to make sure where you know which tab they're going to. And now we can pull off that nut. Alright, so use the 13/16 socket to get that nut off in the center. I forgot to mention that before you start this, make sure your wheels are straight and that you make note of where your steering wheel is, like off center compared to your wheels. And so mine was off center, like probably right about there. So even though it looks straight right now, I know that when I'm driving down the road it's off like that to the left. So what I'm going to do is when I readjust it and put it back on the splines, I'm going to put it probably maybe 2 splines over, and we'll see how that goes. So make note of that, so when you're playing with a steering wheel like this and it gets off-centered a little bit more, we can adjust for that. Alright, and now on to pulling the steering wheel. So we just got a basic puller set here, and what we're going to do is take the puller here. We got a tip here, so if you see in the center of the steering wheel here, it's got a little groove on the inside. We'll find a tip that fits that pretty well, so this little one will fit nicely. And then these 2 bolt holes to left and right, we're going to be using, we got these 2 bolts that fit into those holes, and then so this will go through to the center, and those will go on the outsides, and then we can push with this in through the center, and that'll pull the steering wheel out. So I'll get that set up and then show you. Alright, so I've threaded in these outer bolts by hand, and then as you can see, the bolt in the center, as we go in, just line that up. It'll start to pull out on these bolts, then we can use a ratchet, and then it will start to pull out on the steering wheel off the center spline of the shaft. And in my case, I'm going to pull it out, and just as it comes off the spline, I'm going to rotate it a couple more splines and then try and realign it back onto them, and then we can push it back on. So if your steering wheel is misaligned by a lot, then it might take a couple tries to get it lined up. Maybe if you can, get a little scribe in there or something and mark where it is so you can see when you put it back on which spline to put it on. But in my case, I'm just going to pull it off and put it over probably a tooth or 2, and then push it back on. Alright, now that I've got it over a couple teeth, I can drive it back on with the nut. I'll just put that guy back on, and then just drive it back down. the ratchet, and that'll press itself back on, and then I can go ahead and reassemble the horn pad cover. Alright, so the horn pad cover's back on. So now the only thing to do is just go for a test drive and see if she drives straight. Hopefully this helps, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.